Because in the application we can have a mass of data, we need to have effective and efficient search and filter options. Now in this topic we will have a look at how we can search and how we can filter, and also here we will need to make the difference between the Windows client and the web client. So let's start with an overview. So here in this table you can see an overview of the functions, the features that we have available in the different clients. So let's start with searching. Now in both clients we can search in lists. So both in the Windows and the web client we can search, for example, customers from a customer list. In the Windows client we can also search in cards. Then there's the quick filter, which basically is a filter that you can very quickly assign to one field, and I will demonstrate how to use it. And that's a filter that we have available both in the Windows and the web client. Then we also have the advanced filter, and there we will need to make the difference between applying the filter on visible fields, which is possible on both clients. But in the Windows client you can also apply the filter to non-visible fields. Then we have the limit totals, which is a filter that we can apply to calculated flow fields. So this filter is applicable or usable in the Windows client. And in both clients we can use filter criteria. And then finally there's also a save view as function, which we have available in the Windows client. So let's start with making some examples, and the first thing that I will show you is how we can use the search function. So let's start in the Windows client, and if I go to customers, you can very easily use the search function by clicking on Find in the ribbon or by using the shortcut Ctrl F. So with Ctrl F you can see that the following search page will open. So and by default the system will display the field or the column in which the cursor was positioned, but we can also very easily change this. So for example, if you would like to search on contact name, I can very easily click on contact, and next I can start entering a match. For example, I'm looking for a contact called Eric, and now if I click on enter or find previous or find next, you will see that the system will bring me to contact Mr. Eric Lang. So that's the first thing that we can do, and we can also search in not exactly the same way, but a similar way in the web client. So let me show you. So here in the web client I will also go to customers, and here I can maybe let me collapse here the fact box pane so that we can see a bit more information. So here we can also search very intuitively, and if I click here on the search function I can start entering what I'm looking for. So for example, in this case I can just enter Eric, and you can see that now very efficiently the system will show me the one record on which the contact or for which the contact is Eric. And you see I don't even have to specify the field for which or in which we will have to search, which we had to do in the Windows client, by the way. Here you can just start typing, and the system will start looking for what you're typing. You see, so there's a difference in searching, of course, in the Windows and the web client. Now a function that we also have available in the Windows client is searching in cards. So for example, if I open the card of John Haddock, we can also start searching here in card pages. And here we don't call the function find, but we call the function goto. And if you'd like to use shortcuts, it's important to know that find is Ctrl F, goto, as you can see here, is Ctrl G. And now I can click here, and if I would like to search or look for the name field, I can enter now the match, for example Canon. If I now click and go to next, you will see now that the system will bring me to customer the Canon group. You see, so in that case, or that's the way that I can also search in card pages in the Windows client. Now, besides searching, we can also filter, and in the Windows client these are two separate functions, but in the web client these are combined. So if we start in the web client here in my customer list, if I for example enter blue, you will see that the system will not only search for all the records that contain blue, in this case in the location code field, but also will filter only the records containing location blue. You see, so it's not only searching, but at the same time it's filtering here location blue. So by using the search function at the same time, we're filtering in the web client. Although you can also click here on one of the fields and go to filter. And there I can start entering filters. So for example, I can enter KRI and see in this case that there is only one customer with contact containing KRI as a filter criterion. You see? So that's the second way that we can filter, and basically it's quite similar. So you can do the same here. So just enter this here. So let me first of all remove the filter. Clear filter. There we go. And if I go to the search function and enter KRI, you will see that we have the same result. You see, so here it's a sort of a combined function, filtering and searching at the same time. However, in the Windows client, this is different. So here in the Windows client, we looked at the search function and we saw that the system will literally search. So it's still displaying all the records, but showing or highlighting the one that we have searched for. But now we can also filter, and there's a first filter that we can use, which is the quick filter. So I can go here to the quick filter field. I can specify the field I want to filter, for example, location code, and I can enter blue, for example. And in this case, I only have customers with location code blue. So it's the same result as we have in the Windows client, but with one additional step, because first I will need to specify the field I would like to filter on. However, to apply the same filter, there's also a quicker and easier way. So the only thing that I need to do is go to one of the values I would like to filter on. And if I now right click on the value, I can very easily select now filter to this value. And this will give me the same result, you see. So instead of entering the filter manually here in the quick filter pane, you can also look for the value, right click or use Alt F3, and then the system will also apply the quick filter. Now, besides the quick filter, we can also use the advanced filter, and the advanced filter will allow us to filter on multiple fields. And also here you will see a difference in using an advanced filter in the web client as opposed to the Windows client. So let's start with the web client, and basically an advanced filter is very easy to apply. You will just filter the multiple fields you want to filter. So for example, I can start again with location codes, and I would like to use the same filter. So I would like to display all customers assigned to location blue, but to be more specific, I would like to have all Swiss customers assigned to location blue. And Kronos can identify Swiss customers based on the currency code. So now I can go to a second field, so currency code, for example, and I can again select filter. And now if I enter CHF, which is the currency code for Swiss francs, if I click on OK, you will now see the two customers from Switzerland assigned to location code blue. You see, so in that way, I can very easily create an advanced filter, so a filter using multiple fields, multiple criteria. To do the same in the Windows client, we will have to work slightly different. And in this case, what we will have to do is expand the filter pane. So if I click here, you can see the filter pane. And by the way, by clicking on customers, you can do the same. So by expanding the filter pane, we can see now the advanced filter. And now I can start entering the filter I would like to use. So if we were making the same example as in the web client, the first thing I need to do here is select location code. Then in value, I can select location code blue. I can click on add filter. And for example, the second filter is the filter on currency codes. And in this case, I can also enter the currency code manually, which means that also here we are left with two customers. And so there are two Swiss customers assigned to location blue. You see, so some differences in applying the advanced filter. However, an additional option that we have in the Windows client is that you can also use the advanced filter on non-visible fields. So let me show you. First of all, I will clear the filter. There we go. And suppose I would like to have a filter of each customer that has a blank VAT number. Now the VAT registration number is not visible. And if I go to choose columns, you will also see that I cannot add it. So it's not available here in the available columns. However, I would like to filter on the VAT registration number because I want to have a list with all customers that don't have a VAT registration number. So here in the Windows client, I can go to the advanced filter, which is already visible. Then I can click on filter, and now if I click on the number field here, so where, you can see that first of all there's a number of columns displayed. So these are the visible columns, as you can see, so everything that we see here in the customer list. But here I have the option to click on all, and this will give me now all the columns, so all the fields of the source table, so the customer table. And now if I click on V, the system will bring me to the first field starting with a V, and there the second one is VAT registration number. So now I can select VAT registration number, and if I enter two single quotes, which is the same for blank, you can see now all the customers with blank VAT registration numbers. You see? And so this is an example of how we can apply an advanced filter on a non-visible field in the Windows client. The third filter we can use in the Windows client is the limit totals filter, and that's a filter that you can apply on calculated fields, so on flow fields. And let me show you an example. So for this example, I will go to Finance and I will go to the chart of accounts. And here in the chart of accounts, let me scroll down to a sales account. So for example, account 6110. Let me also remove here the fact box. There we go. So we have a little bit more information that we can see now. And if I scroll to the right, you can see that we have a net change of 761,000. Now, if I click on the flow field, we will get the detail, which is calculated based on the general ledger entries. And basically, you see now that the total we just saw in the chart of accounts is based on two different years, 2018 and 2017. So this basically means that 2017 isn't closed yet. And again, so the total that you can see here now is based on 2 fiscal years. Now, suppose I'm making an analysis of 2018, so the most recent fiscal year. I would like to see here the total only including the entries of 2018. Now, for that purpose, we can use the limit totals filter. Let me show you. So if I click here on chart of accounts, I can select limit totals. And now I can add a filter. And the filters that you can add are filters that will be used to recalculate the flow fields. So for example, calculating flow fields only containing a specific department or a specific project, but also based on dates. And that's the one I would like to apply right now. So I will select date filter. And now the date filter I would like to use is the 1st of January 2018 until the 31st of December 2018. Now, by accepting this filter, you will see now that the net change of each line will change because it's recalculated, taking into account this filter. So let me do this. There we go. And now if I go back to account 6110, which you can see here, you can see now that the 761,000, which we can still see in balance, now has changed to 10,503.70 in net change. And basically what happened is that the system now applied the date filter to the underlying table. You see, so if I click now on the drill down, you see that only the general ledger entries with posting date 2018 are displayed. And you can see here the filter that has been applied. You see, so this is what a flow filter does. So it will filter flow fields based, for example, on dates. In the practice of this lesson, you can apply a flow filter yourself.